Hey everybody, welcome to episode 29 of the Joys of Games podcast. We're back. It's been a while. We had to take a little hiatus. Life got in the way. But we're back. It feels so good. We are recording this late Thursday night of August 18th. No, August 17th, 2016. Hey, I'm just reading the show notes. Show notes were not changed to accommodate the new recording date.
So we could just say it's July 18th. It's fine. No
Sure.
big deal.
Welcome to July 18th, 2016.
It certainly feels like that anyway.
Nothing's happened in the last month. Don't worry. I promise. This is our week of Nintendo. We left off needing to do a week of Nintendo. We came back to do a week of Nintendo because that's what we do. We can't mess up the formula 29 episodes in. That would just be unhealthy and wrong.
Right. And to be fair, everyone out there, we did try to record a while back, but we had a lot of technical issues. A squirrel ate through your power line.
Correct.
It fried the whole system.
Mm-hmm. And the squirrel.
And the FBI came by and was like, why are you killing our squirrels? It was a whole thing.
PETA got involved. It was a mess.
Yeah, and PETA Pit was there too, ironically.
Yeah. Possibly serving squirrel? I'm not sure. Unconfirmed. Not going to start that rumor.
Well,
not going to do it.
Kind of already did.
We did have half an episode recorded, though.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if that long lost episode.
It's deleted. It's gone. Trust me.
No.
Yeah, it's for the best, Colin.
All right.
For the best. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by the Samus to my Ridley.
Okay, I'll
Colin
take it.
Wheeler? Hi, Colin.
I'll take it.
What's up, dude?
What's up? So wait, am I Samus or am I Ridley?
You are the Samus to my Ridley.
So you're like a giant pterodactyl creature thing.
I've always kind of felt like a dinosaur has been inside me, just waiting to come out.
Man, when we went clamming, I could see that.
It's possible. Also, you turned me on to a new comic series where there's a kid that actually turns into a dinosaur, and now I can't stop thinking about it.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hulu is coming out with a Marvel Runaways series. Mm-hmm. It's going to be exciting. It'll be interesting because Hulu's original content's not super great. So I'm hoping with Marvel being
That's why
involved.
they gave them Runaways. They're like, you could screw this up and nobody's going to care.
Yeah, they're kind of a B-tier series, but still, it could be really cool.
Oh, sure. But if they mess it up, nobody's going to come at them with pitchforks.
Right. Well, I'm sure somebody will.
They couldn't have given them, like, the Defenders, per se.
Yeah.
You know.
Runaways is definitely like a newer series, so it doesn't have that long lineage.
Right. Regardless, there's a kid that turns into a dinosaur, and that's pretty sweet. Also, No Man's Sky, I feel like I've seen a lot of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I'm just in a dinosaur mood recently.
Yeah. I saw the derpy dinosaur from all those videos. I don't know if you've seen them floating around. I saw one of those. I saw a giant fish who was supposed to be lethal, but I jumped down to him and he didn't attack me, so I shot him once and he died.
As you do.
Yeah. And then there was like a weird like War of the Worlds squid floating thing as well. It didn't do anything.
We'll definitely talk about No Man's Sky in our PlayStation Week, I have a feeling. But I'm going to say this, just in case people are curious. If you're looking for a game to help you possibly go to sleep, that's the perfect game to play.
That one or Minecraft. Minecraft has like that super smooth melody.
Yeah, oh god.
This one time, I basically turned into my grandfather, and I was playing Minecraft with my son Hayden, and it was probably noon. And we played it for probably about an hour, and I fell asleep. Didn't even realize it.
Holding the controller still.
Yep, my grandpa used to do that all the time.
Yep. It's just the thing, man. You get locked into a zone, and then you start having to not think about the game too much, and you start thinking about other things, and you realize how tired you are, and your eyes start getting heavy, and...
Oh, man, why'd you say that?
One thing leads to another, and... Man, oh, man. Also, there's a lot of colors in that game. Like... I think that was my first problem, is like all the colors were starting to almost hurt my eyes in a weird way. So I was like starting to like not concentrate on the colors as much, and that just, it was downward spiral from there. I didn't quite fall asleep, but I got to that point where I'm like, if I continue doing this, I'm done for the night. So, that's not anything bad about the game itself. Like, hey, I don't sleep very well in general, so anything that could help me sleep, bonus in my book.
Who knew? No Man's Sky is the world's greatest lullaby.
It does have great music.
It does, actually.
We're not here to talk about No Man's Sky, though, Colin.
Wait, it's not on Wii U? What are you talking about?
Probably could be.
Oof.
Look, I'm not saying anything that people aren't already thinking.
I mean, yeah.
We are here to talk about Nintendo, Colin.
Yay.
So, week of Nintendo. Last time we tried to do this podcast, it was going to be heavily influenced by a certain pink character, a fluffy little round ball known as Kirby.
Yeah.
That episode, like I said, in the trash. Didn't happen.
Yep.
Since that almost episode, we've had a birthday, an anniversary, a celebration, if you will. Metroid franchise has turned 30. So we figured it would be only appropriate for us to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Metroid by dedicating this show to Metroid. Now, by doing so, we are already doing more for Metroid than Nintendo itself has done to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Metroid.
Wah, wah, wah.
But I digress. That's a story for another podcast. Look, whatever... Nintendo's just being weird right now, right? Like, they're trying to figure out how to announce the NX. I feel like that is their only focus, because nonstop rumors, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but like, it's just one thing after another. They're radio silent now. Like, they're not talking about anything. They have a new Metroid game coming out tomorrow, and I don't think they've told anybody about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they're just letting that game set out to die.
Sure. But why not try to make some money?
Sure.
You know? At least pretend like you care.
Well, if you have marketing dollars to push somewhere, are you going to push it towards your new console? Or are you going to push it? Or are you going to push it toward? Well, I mean, I think they're saving it. They're like Scrooge McDucking it. They're putting it in the vault, and this, you know.
How much does it cost to write a tweet once a day for the last week?
I'm probably gonna say like $20.
Right. I feel like this upcoming game at least deserves that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either, but maybe at least pretend to care.
Well, Kotaku seems to like it, but
sure.
A lot of other outlets do not seem to like it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll talk about it later. But what I'm saying is, Nintendo's just being weird right now. They're announcing things that we didn't expect.
So when you say they're being weird, you mean they're being normal, right? Because they're normally weird. Like, when have you ever thought of Nintendo as normal? Like, Xbox, PlayStation, they're pretty much kind of the same.
Yes. Okay. They're not being weird in the sense of like every other publisher and console manufacturer out there, because they're still weird as ever. And they've always been weird compared to Sony and Microsoft. They are being weird as far as how Nintendo usually is being. They are not being their normal Nintendo selves. This much stuff never leaks out about Nintendo stuff.
Is this just like a weird inception? It's like layers of weird.
But the thing is, like, they're not even like... I don't know what's even leaks anymore, what's just rumors, what's just... I don't know how much of the stuff is real or fake or made up, or nobody really knows anything, I don't think, but maybe some people do, and I can't tell the difference between those people that do and don't, and it's just not like Nintendo to allow all of this stuff to continue and the message be muddied up this badly without them at least jumping ahead and trying to take over the messaging more so.
The best part of all of this is, like, all these rumors are just coming every single day. I feel like there's a new rumor, and I'm texting you about it. I'm like, look at this thing. And we're like, yay, look at this thing. Yay, look at this thing. Yay, right? Yeah. All excited about it. And in the middle of this, NES Classic gets announced.
Right.
It's like,
that's what I mean. Like
what?
Their attention
I'm sorry,
is
what?
all over the place, and that kind of stuff pops up without any indication that is a thing, that it exists. I just look, Nintendo, just just announce the NX, please. That's all we want. We just want to know what it is. We want to know what it's called. We want to know what it looks like. We want to know what the gimmick is. We want to know why we are caring so much about a thing that we know nothing about.
I want it all, and I want it now.
Yes. Like, I don't know if they're afraid, if they're waiting for a... I would be happy if they just came out and just gave a date of when they're actually going to say something. Like they said, like September, ambiguously.
Well, they didn't say that. That is a rumor that's floating around as well.
They said this year,
They've
right?
Said,
or this fall, or...
Yeah, they said after E3, before holidays, what they said. So people were speculating, well, it's probably going to be September, not October, because once you get into November, then you're in the holidays.
Honestly, if they just gave us an announcement of when they're going to make an announcement, as much as people hate that kind of stuff, that is all people want right now. 100% from that moment of them making an announcement of when they're going to make an announcement, it would be 100% Nintendo hype train up until that announcement.
It's just piss poor communication.
Just, where's Reggie? Reggie, where are you at? I know you're back there somewhere. Step out of the shadows, my friend. We got some talking to do.
Dude, I don't think you want to mess with Reggie. Have you seen him?
He's giant.
He's a real big man.
He's a real big man.
I saw him punching a bunch of people in that Super Smash Bros. Video. No way, man.
He's the man responsible for the Bigfoot pizza at Pizza Hut. That is a large man.
What's a Bigfoot pizza? What is that?
Back in the day, Pizza Hut had this pizza called the Bigfoot pizza. And it was this giant pizza that you could order. It was essentially like what you would order for like a party.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this giant rectangle that it was cut up into squares.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Reggie's responsible for that pizza.
What?
Yeah. That's not a normal man-sized pizza.
No.
That's a giant of a man pizza.
Yeah, it's like Andre the Giant.
Reggie, just talk to us, my friend. We got PAX West in a couple weeks. Like, we're going to be there. We want to see this thing. Like, you will win PAX if the NX is there.
Yep.
No one will care about anything else at PAX if the NX is on display. I promise you.
That's all people will talk about.
It will be the Nintendo show, not PAX West. It will be PAX Nintendo.
Yeah, and if it comes out in March, that gives them, 6 months? Yeah. 6 months of marketing?
Sure. That's enough to explain it a few more times and show people off and get the rad commercials going and talk about games that are going to be on launch and talk people out of buying the Neo and Xbox One S for the holidays because you're going to be waiting for the new system in March. Like, just give us something, please.
When the Xbox One and the PS4 were revealed, did they come out that same year they were revealed? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like, I think, wasn't Sony's in like December and then it launched in November?
No, Xbox had two because they had the TV one that everybody was making fun of, and then they had, then they had E3. So they unveiled it with all the TV crap, and then they had E3, and then it came out that year. Yeah. So yeah, it did. So then Sony announced theirs shortly after, being like, this is how you share games. Remember that whole thing?
Right. But they announced the console, I want to say like December or January.
No, it was later than that. No. I think it was like February.
Was it? I don't know.
February or March.
Wintry. But it was a few months before E3, because then at E3, that's when we got all the more information, and then it launched in November.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, ideally,
they
could do that. They could, if they announce it in September, have it out, by March. Because March, that's the only thing that they've reiterated. Only thing.
Yeah.
Is this coming out March 2017. Mm-hmm. So,
Nintendo doesn't need a long build-up to anything. Like, the Wii U had like a 2-year build-up, and it did not help at all. It only made it worse and more confusing. They just need to come out and say, this is what the NX is, this is what it does, this is what it looks like, this is what the price is, this is what the games are going to come from. Oh, and it's available in 4 months. Boom. Here. Pre-orders. Do it right now. Take all our money, Nintendo.
All the money, please.
That's all they need to do.
I'm
So
throwing it at the screen and nothing's happening.
I just
Nothing's
Sony has a press event September 7th. Like, are you going to be competing with that? That's happening after PAX, but are you going to do it like that week? Are you going to do it the week after? You can't. Like, just get it done. I'm telling you, do it next week before PAX. Do your Nintendo Direct. If they come out the next day and they say, hey, Nintendo Direct coming up, and it's going to be 2 days before PAX starts, and it's going to show off the NX and it's going to tell you all about it. Boom. And then NX is there at PAX. Everybody gets to see it. The hype will be through the roof.
That'll be nuts. I honestly think it's going to be the end of September, though. I think it's going to be the last week in September.
I know. There's just gamers' attentions that are going to start getting... I mean, granted, now Final Fantasy 15 isn't happening, so... Right. I mean, they have that slot that they could slide into if they really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, Nintendo, just give us something. That's all we want. But until then, maybe, I don't know, recognize that Metroid is 30 years old?
Yep.
Maybe. We love Metroid. Big deal. We know they love Metroid. Like, it's not a franchise that they've let die. Like, they continue to push Samus as, like, one of the faces of Nintendo. Character-wise. So, I just don't understand the lack of recognition for the anniversary. But, hey, if they're not going to do it, we are, Colin.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go back in time. We're going to talk about a game from the past that is near and dear to many hearts around the world. We are going to start off by talking about none other than Super Metroid.
Super Metroid. It was released for the Super Nintendo, if you can believe it.
Back then, if it had Super in the title, it was probably on the Super Nintendo.
Probably.
You did a good job marketing that stuff. Hey, what's that game for? It's Super Metroid, so it's
Super, obviously.
It's for the Nintendo, Mom.
Yeah.
The Nintendo? The Super Nintendo. Super Metroid. Super Street Fighter.
I love your explanation of talking to your mom. Nintendo.
Okay, seriously, how many parents out there still call every game console a Nintendo?
My wife did that for the first 2 years of a relationship.
There we go.
I turn on my Xbox. She's like, "You're playing Nintendo?" I'm like, "No, this is the Xbox."
Right.
She's like, "Yeah, it's the same thing." I'm like, "No, it is not the same thing. This is the Wii. That is the Nintendo."
And yet you married her.
Well, I had to teach her.
Super Metroid. Let's talk about it.
Super Metroid came out April 18th, 1994. If you could imagine being in the store and picking up a boxed copy of Super Metroid, it might read, "Team up with the strength of Samus for Super Metroid Clash. Take on a legion of space pirates and a new Metroid force as you forge into the covert underworld of planet Zebes. It's up to you and Samus to recapture the long-surviving Metroid hatchling before evil hands unleash its energy. An army of ominous creatures are poised for battle at every turn of Zebes' twisted, threatening passageways, including the menacing Ridley and the great lizard Kraid. Knock down enemies with a killer somersault. Swing on an electric beam through narrow passageways. They're no match for you and Samus. But wait! It seems the Mother Brain has returned."
Oh, not Mother Brain.
I'll have you know, it has 24 megs of action in the largest Super NES game ever. It's the toughest Metroid Clash yet. 6 huge areas to explore. Samus has an arsenal of new beams, missiles, and super high-tech devices. Not just regular high-tech devices. These are super, okay? And battery-packed memory saves your progress. These are all in explanation points. That's why I'm trying to emphasize.
Absolutely.
It also has the official Nintendo quality seal of approval. So,
duh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Box art, badass.
Oh yeah.
Back of the box, that description, yeah. If I'm reading that as a kid, I'm getting stoked for this game.
Dude, I feel stoked right now. What are you talking about?
Like, I want to go play that right now just from reading that.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Like, that's how you describe a game.
All right,
That's
it's
how
too
you
hot
get
anyway.
people.
Podcast over. Let's go.
Okay.
All
Done.
right, Audi 5000.
No, Super Metroid. What a game. What a game. Pretty much, like, is the game that is responsible for the Metroidvania moniker that a lot of games carry nowadays. Because it was all about exploration, you know? It was running around trying to get power-ups so you could go back to places you were already at once before, twice before, several times before, and opening and unlocking new areas to continue your path. Um, the combat was tight. The colors were amazing. Like, just the sprites, everything about that game was just so well done. Like, every little detail was paid attention to. Like, the music was fantastic, but just it was a game that, like, you just went back and forth in, you know, in scope. Like, it's not a huge game compared to, like, games these days, obviously, but it felt big because you're just backtracking so much. But it, like, opened the doors for games like Axiom Verge and Shadow Complex. It's just, like, Super Metroid to me is the defining Metroid game. There were two Metroid games on the NES, Metroid and Metroid 2, Return of Samus. Both fine, you know. I particularly do not remember playing those games as a kid.
So I played the original Metroid. Metroid 2, I believe, was a Game Boy game, and I never played that one.
Okay, you're right. Did it eventually come out on NES?
I don't think so. I think it was only on Game Boy, and that's why that remake, people were demanding it so much.
That's right.
Because they wanted a what was it? Was it Zero Mission? Was that the remake of the original? Or the quasi remake of the original? Like, it was like the original, but like they changed it a little bit to make it more modern.
Yes.
So they wanted that version of it, basically, but for Metroid 2.
Right.
My takeaway was Super Metroid. When I did play it, like, I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. My cousin did, so I played it then. It was really unique. Like, Samus as a character was unique in her aesthetics, the way that she moved, the jumping, the rolling. What struck me about that game is the feeling of solitude. Like, you're alone in a giant spaceship, and the music is just so, like, somber and almost slightly haunting, I guess is the best way I can describe it. And, you know, it's years later that I was researching Super Metroid, and apparently the designer of the game was a huge, like, Aliens and Alien fan. Like, the what is it, the Giger, I think it's HR Giger. He's the one that did, like, the designs for all the Alien movies, all the, like, strange, like, architecture in those movies, the xenomorph creatures as well. That was all his design, and the designers of Metroid really liked that and actually implemented the game. So you can actually see a lot of I wouldn't say, like, blatant rip-offs, but, like, very heavily inspired sections within that game that looks a lot like Aliens.
Right. Yeah, just that solitary feeling of being alone but not quite being alone.
Yeah.
It's just so good. And it blows me away that, like, games were this good and this fun on, like, a Super Nintendo. You know? Like I said, Axiom Verge, like, feels like you're playing Super Metroid.
Yeah, I played Child of Light. I think that was like 2 years ago, and that was very much like, it was also a Metroidvania that I really enjoyed. Shadow Complex is one of my favorite downloadable games for 360.
Yeah, just Super Metroid is just so good. Like, it's one of the best Nintendo games, like, ever. You know, hands down. It's just it opened the doors for so much as far as games coming afterwards, and it propelled the Metroid franchise into mainstream recognition. Like I said, I don't remember playing the first two Metroid games as a kid. I've since played them. But I don't remember sitting as a kid with my Nintendo or Game Boy and ever playing those games early on. But definitely Super Metroid, yeah, I remember playing as a kid many times.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one of those games that just stuck with me and kind of stuck with a lot of people for, you know, forever, pretty much. It's amazing. What a game.
If you look at top 100 lists, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find Super Metroid in the top 10.
Yeah.
So.
Defining game for a generation and generations to come, for sure.
Indeed.
Good job, Super Metroid. Keep being awesome. Going forward here, you want to talk about news or do you want to talk about a game that we love? I mean, we've kind of talked about some news, but we could dig in a little bit deeper if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about the news here.
Okay.
So we haven't talked in a while. As you said at the top. So the NES Classic was announced.
Yep.
As 30 games, 30 of some of the best NES games. Some of the surprising ones that I saw was like the third-party stuff, like the Castlevanias and Final Fantasy. I was really kind of shocked to see that.
Yeah.
I'm 100% going to buy one of these and the extra controller. If not to play it, just for the novelty alone. I love the idea of having a mini NES that fits in the palm of my hand. I can just plug it to any HDMI source. It's just awesome. I hope they do with the Super Nintendo as well, because I would like to go back and play all those games that I played most of like the popular games on the Super Nintendo, but they weren't mine, so it's not the same type of I don't have the same type of attachment, or I'd never completed them either, so I would love them to do that as well.
Right. And I mean, I own a lot of these on various virtual consoles and such, but like $60, like that's the price of just a game nowadays. And you get 30 of like some of the best NES games there are. Heck yeah. My only concern with this is the length of the cord for the controllers.
Yeah, which I've heard is like 3 feet, like the old ones. I'm like, I mean, I get it. You're going after the nostalgia thing, but no, don't do that.
The best thing about it, though, is you could plug them into your Wiimote.
Right.
So
as a classic controller, that makes me wonder if there's going to be some possibility to sync a Wiimote to make it wireless.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
I hope so, but they haven't said that, so I don't know why they wouldn't have said that at launch. Been like, oh, you know, you can plug it in, or unless they are 100% just like want to go for the nostalgia, like grab, and that's all they want to focus on. Sure. They don't want to bring up the Wii at all in the branding of this thing.
If I have to sit on the floor in the middle of my living room to play this thing, I'm going to. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm too.
But I will. My couch right now is just too far away from the TV to actually do this thing.
Yep, it's going to be like 2 TVs sitting in front.
But am I buying
like
it?
The old days.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
If I just have to buy a longer HDMI cable and an extension cord so I can put that thing on my coffee table.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there's ways around it. Nintendo, you're not making it easy for us, but there's ways around it. We'll get there. I'm excited. I hope this sells as well as you and I both think it will, because
I think it's going to be like Amiibo again. Like, it's going to be one of those things. And I work in retail, and there's always common questions. There's always that one thing that everybody's asking for. Every year, and I think this is going to be it. Yeah. This is going to be every hour. I feel so bad for the customer service people have to take the call every hour asking, do you have any NES Classics in stock? No. Do you have any NES Classics in stock? No. So if you see one on the shelves, grab one, because I have a feeling this is going to be, they're not going to make enough for the demand.
Swoop it up.
Because of the price point.
Yeah.
It's so cheap. Like, it's not even like, it's like a binge buy. Like, you're like, oh, even like the most casual person's like, I remember Nintendo. Right. $60? Psh, why not?
I mean, it breaks down to $2 a game.
Yeah, which is cheaper than the Virtual Console, which is crazy.
Yeah. Like, they're outpricing themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're
for the low value of $60.
But, like, if this succeeds, like, they could do an NES Classic 2. Like, they can make, like, one that looks like the original Famicom, and do
Or the top loader for
and then going forward, like they could put out a Super Nintendo version, they could put out a 64 version, like
64, please.
Like, tell me that these things are not going to sell like hotcakes if they do that. Like, it's just, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
So excited.
And that's coming out November 11th, so it's coming up.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for birthday presents for me, just throwing that out there.
I think it's smart that they're releasing it before Black Friday, but I don't think any stores are going to have any for Black Friday. So.
Probably not.
So, yeah. Pokemon Go, the Plus, their accessory, got pushed back, clearly. It was supposed to come out July 25th. It's not out, as it is almost a month later. Apparently, they're pushing it to... I guess they're doing more quality control, and I'm also assuming they're ramping up the stock significantly.
Yeah.
Which, it's smart, but at the same time, I'm wondering how many people from that initial hype are still playing Pokemon Go. Like, I feel like a lot of people have teetered out.
I think the hardcore people that were going to buy the Plus in the first place are probably still playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, they're not going to reach that casual audience that helped the game explode like it did, but they're still going to be reaching that hardcore group of fans that is still playing it every day.
Yeah, and I like the idea. It's cool. I may consider getting one. I have dabbled in a little bit more than a little bit more recently. I got a Meowth today, which I was pretty excited about.
Nice.
I still don't have anything super rare, but
sure.
I mean, I'm super happy to see the original Pokemon that I recognize and catch those ones.
The only true Pokemon, you mean?
Yeah, the only true Pokemon. None of this keychain heart Pokemon that they just announced.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
I don't know what that is.
Get out of here with your ice cream cones and bags of trash.
Yeah, garbage mon.
Have you seen the pictures of this thing from Gamescom?
No, did they change it?
No, it looks way bigger than I think they've ever shown off before.
Oh, really? Like, is it on people's wrists and stuff?
No, but the pictures of it, just the actual plastic piece that has the buttons and everything, looks bigger than I remember in like the original promo shots of it. Maybe it was just a weird angle. I don't know. It looks a little bit more big and a little bit more obnoxious than it did before.
Oh yeah, you're right. Interesting.
Almost like Yokai Watch status.
Oh, it's not nearly as big as the Yokai Watch. Not even close. I do think it's interesting that they're doing a interactive bracelet though for Sun and Moon. Mm-hmm. They're doing I think it's called the Z bracelet.
Yep.
And like I showed Hayden it, and he's like super jazzed about it, but I could never see myself.
With the Z crystals, man, you could buy packs of Z crystals for it.
Yeah. Nah. I'm good.
It's a thing, man. Oh, man. Z crystals are the new wave. I promise you.
This NES Classic is the same size, well, width-wise, as the 3DS XL. That's nuts.
I thought you were about to say the Pokemon Go Plus.
Oh, yeah. That'd be amazing to have on your wrist. You're like, what is that? Is that a growth? Oh, no, that's my Pokemon Go Plus. They're like, you should go to a doctor. I'm like, nah. I gotta catch them all.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it. I think I'm still going to get one. Will I wear it all the time? Probably not. Will I wear it when I'm Pokemon hunting? Probably.
Dude, you could be like, what's his name? Ted Cruz. Have 2 watches on all the time. Have your Fitbit and your Pokemon Go.
Yokai Watch and Pokemon Go.
Right. And so you have 3. So you will be the Zodiac Killer at that point.
And let's not forget the Z bracelet.
Oh, yeah. And your Apple Watch, too. So you got to catch them all, basically.
Up and down my forearms are just going to be different straps of different interactive toys.
Yeah. So you know the people that get the tattoo sleeves?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a watch sleeve instead.
It will take me a half hour each night to take off all of my accessories before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Because if not, I will just wake up to just sounds nonstop.
Can't even imagine. It'd be amazing.
I might be sleeping by myself at that point.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would probably get away from you too. So.
And then the NX rumors.
Yeah, so there's
Non-stop. Like, I don't even know how to even tackle this because
hot and heavy.
they are hot and heavy. I don't know which ones have validity to them. I just
Eurogamer I think it was a week or so ago, had like a pretty substantial like leak source whatever about it being a hybrid like everybody's thinking. It has a little like HDMI dongle that plugs into your TV, and you have a tablet which is actually your processing power and all that fun stuff, and you can take it on the go.
Right.
The weirdest thing about that story was the fact that it had detachable controllers. Why? Nobody knows. Then a little bit after that, a patent showed up where basically you could customize the tablet's physical controllers. Mm-hmm. So you could take the direction pad off and put a joystick in. You could take the joystick off and put more buttons. Like, it's just completely like unique and interesting idea, because it's basically you can customize this controller any way you want, similar to like something like the Xbox One Elite controller where you can control the joysticks and buttons and all that stuff, but like on another level, like everything can be configured.
Right.
And then also the processing power is going to be NVIDIA's Integra, which is similar to the NVIDIA Shield. But it's unclear if it's going to be their next generation one, which they have not officially announced, or if it's going to be the old one. So if it's the old one, then it's going to have the processing power similar to the Wii U. If it's the generation 2, which is what everybody's speculating, it'll have a little bit less processing power than an Xbox One.
Funny you bring all that up, Colin, because we got an email from Brian Christensen.
All right.
He wrote in to joysofgames@gmail.com. He says, to Joys of Games Corporate. As industry professionals of podcasting, you are likely privy to information us common folk don't have. With said insider knowledge, you know that the NX will be leveraging the NVIDIA X1 or X2 chipset like the Shield TV, a game streaming setup top box for Android. Do you think the NX will have a strong focus on streaming games to bridge the gap between the other consoles?
Streaming games like PlayStation Now streaming games?
That's what it sounds like he's asking.
No, it will not. Absolutely not. I would be shocked if Nintendo is even thinking about that at all.
Yeah.
It took them how long to have a digital games focus?
It took them how long to acknowledge the fact that the internet existed?
Yeah, so no way. I don't see it. And simply, like, the problem with that tech is, and I honestly, genuinely think we will have a Netflix-type service for streaming games, but we have to get those internet speeds up. It has to be gigabit internet speeds in order for it to keep up with that, and that's a very long way away, because the infrastructure, the fiber lines that are put underneath all the grounds are super outdated right now.
I mean, squirrels are just chewing through them left and right.
Squirrels are eating them. The FBI shows up. It's a whole ordeal.
It's an epidemic.
So as much as I would love that to happen, that'd be great if you could stream games. I don't see Nintendo doing it.
No.
Nintendo
is not going to lead the way in the digital revolution.
Yeah. In fact, they're going back to cartridges. So
they're going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
They're just like, nah, this is not for us.
You remember what worked for us in the past? I guess we'll just do that again. I don't know. See what happens. But yeah, thanks for the email.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You didn't send it. Don't take credit for other people's work, Josh.
Yeah, but I read it like a professional.
No. What was his name? Brian?
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. From Portland.
Oh.
Yeah. How about that?
It's hot, Brian.
It's stupid hot. We are both
well.
semi-delirious. I've been sitting in this room baking for about 4 hours now while podcasting.
Ugh.
I don't know how I'm alive. I've gone
through
through every beverage I could possibly get my hands on. I might not make it to the end of the show, Colin.
Well, I'll take it from here.
Perfect.
I'll just put in like little jigs the whole time.
That works. Yeah, rumors. Nintendo, just tell us something.
Tell me why.
Tell us what we want to know. And that's everything. Like, we just want to know because we want to give you money. Like, honestly, that's 100% of why people are just upset that we're not getting information. Because they just want to know what we're going to be giving them money to.
Yeah. I'll have you know, Nintendo, I have 10,000 rupees in Twilight Princess.
Look at you.
Yeah.
High
and
roller.
I give it to them.
Just like
gladly. That. Because you can't spend it on anything in the game.
That's the truth.
Truth.
I mean, news-wise, other than that, it's all quiet on the Western Front as far as Nintendo goes. Reggie's busy up cooking up the next Bigfoot pizza, I'm sure.
Yep, and what's his face?
Bill Trennan?
Yep, he's just eating donuts, playing Yokai Watch 2.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get possessed by a ghost that likes to eat constantly.
Yeah.
Is Zelda out yet?
Must be the reason why I'm getting fat. Zelda, no. Well, yeah. Which Zelda are you talking about? Breath of the Wild. Oh, no. Definitely no. No.
I was hoping I'd just, missed it.
No.
That's unfortunate, Colin.
They are doing test studies for hibernation sleeping. Cryo sleeping. So NASA's paying $18,000 for people just to sit there and not do anything for 17 days.
Here's the thing. If it wasn't for LEGO Dimensions, Skylanders, and the BioShock collection, I would be all on board with just sleeping until the next Zelda game came out.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out this fall. I'm pumped for Gears 4, Titanfall 2.
But is that stuff I feel like I could come back to.
Titanfall 2? No, because then nobody's going to be playing it by the time you come back to
it. God, that's so true. So sad and so true.
Yeah.
Are you getting it for PS4 or Xbox?
Titanfall?
Yeah.
Xbox. I try to get all my shooters on Xbox.
Don't know why, but okay. Let's talk about a game we love, Colin.
Oh, yeah.
It's time. We're going back to Metroid. Again, celebrating what Nintendo don't.
Wait, no. Rewind.
We do what Nintendo don't?
No.
And then celebrate the 30th anniversary.
Are you calling us Sega? What kind of...
No, I'm just...
You're insulting the podcast. You're insulting the audience.
Look, Sonic's making a comeback. The only person that's
happy with this...
Sonic's making a comeback in 2016.
Blue Dragon Kaiser. He's the only person that's okay with this.
That's true. He loves him some Sonic.
Shout out to him.
Also, shout out to LEGO Dimensions for finally making a good Sonic game.
Yeah! Good on them.
Everything else, don't expect good things.
Makes me sad.
Not sad. Joyous. We're going to talk about a game that we love. It's old. But here's the thing. Nintendo, you're not giving us any new games recently to talk about. So we're going to have to start doing this until you pump out some more content for us. We have a couple other games that we could probably talk about at some point. But look, you're forcing your hand on this, and this is just what we got to do. So we're going to talk about a game that's a little bit older, but available for the newest system that you have, which is the Wii U. And of course, I am talking about the Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah. What a fantastic pack of games.
Now, you're telling me you never played these games on the Wii.
Right. I did not play Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii. I played Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime Echoes on the GameCube. And then What?
I said okay.
And then I also played them again on my Wii via backwards compatibility. I played... Right, with a GameCube controller.
I forgot those came out on GameCube.
Yes, those are both GameCube games. The GameCube is such a great system. There's such awesome titles. And honestly, the Wii U is, I think, going to be compared to the GameCube, where they have just, a very, small selection of amazing titles, but those titles are just so, so good. I did play Corruption on the Wii, obviously, because it did launch on the Wii, and it's only been released on the Wii.
Right.
And that was really... quite incredible. The controls were so tight, and this was if I remember correctly, this is before the Wii Motion Plus.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's an accomplishment itself. Like, it's 1-to-1 precision aiming. It was like being on a railgun like shooting game, but you're actually completely in control.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked cool too. Like, it looked really good. Like, those games were not in high definition. Corruption, that is, was not in high definition, and
No.
it looked fantastic. And now even the re-release, on the Wii U, which is basically a direct port of the 3 games, it still looks awesome. Like, the art style choice that they chose with those games are so good, and it's such a perfect evolution for Metroid to go first person.
Absolutely.
I will say it was slightly strange to get used to the GameCube controller playing that game, just because I had played Halo and it has that easy like look around, with the dual joysticks. But yeah, like, what a great game, great set of games those were. And I loved that when you turn it like a morph ball, go to a third person perspective. It was just so well thought out, and it was such a perfect evolution from Super Metroid to this.
Mm-hmm. I love those games. The one thing I had the biggest issue with, and this is only because I'm slightly psychotic, I think, I couldn't stop scanning things.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like those games took 8 times longer than they needed to, because I just scanned everything. Even if it was like, I know I've scanned this before, but I'm going to scan it again just in case, because there was like that. They didn't have any sort of like trophies or achievements, but there was still like to like 100% the game, like you had to scan everything.
Yeah.
If I got through a place and I had like missed something, I would lose my mind. I'm like, there's no way I didn't scan something, and sometimes it was like, you have to scan the ship as it's leaving. Like, you had a very small window to scan things, or it would be gone for the entire, area or stuff like that. Oh man, I reset so many things. Oh, just drove me crazy. But that's me. That's just because I couldn't stop doing it because it was so fun.
Ask you a question, sidetrack you a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you're playing Zelda, and you have a full set of hearts,
every blade of grass.
If you cut the blade of grass,
yep,
I have to go back for the heart.
100%.
Even though I already have full hearts,
Same
I have to go back for the heart. Why am I so crazy? Why? I don't need it. Why am I doing this?
Every pot, every
rupee, single time.
Every coin in Mario. Like, when that new Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS came out, where like the thing was you had to collect as much coins as possible.
God, no.
And you had to get up to like 1 million, like that was the goal, and you could turn it into like Gold Mario and everything. That game broke me, Colin.
I don't blame you.
Because
it would break me too.
I have to collect every coin, right? And the gimmick of the game was to collect as many coins as possible. Seemed fine on paper until you turn into Gold Mario and you're spitting out more coins than you possibly have time to collect, and you're watching coins just like disappear because there's too many coins on the screen. It broke my soul. I was like, I'm not ever going to get to 1 million because I don't have enough time to collect all these coins because there's so many coins in this game, but I got to collect every single coin. I'm running out of time in each level because I'm meticulously breaking every block to get every coin.
Is Nintendo just like hypnotizing and tricking us?
Yes.
Like, they'll like play our game longer by doing silly things that you don't need to do, but you want to do.
Colin, do you remember beating the original Super Mario Brothers? And it's just like, hey, you won, you saved the princess, now let's start again.
Yeah.
And now the Goombas are beetles. And it's a little bit harder now. And it just keeps going. And it keeps going. Or you rock the turtle. And you get so many lives, like the counter doesn't even recognize numbers anymore. It just starts spitting out random symbols.
I never got that far.
Yeah, you get so many lives, there isn't even a number anymore. It's just like, here's a castle and like a question mark and a firework and just like random symbols that pop up in the where the numbers should be because you have so many lives. Why do you need that many lives for Mario? You don't. Are you going to keep doing it and get as many lives as possible and collect every 1-up mushroom you can? Absolutely.
Yeah.
God,
obviously.
Nintendo's so good.
Obviously.
God, I love Nintendo.
Achievements, please.
No, that's the thing.
NX achievements, please. Give me the achievement systems, please. Just give it to us. Please give it to us.
Mm.
That's what I want more than anything in the next generation. Because I
too,
know
but
the
I'm so
games are going to
afraid,
be.
Colin.
I know the games are going to be amazing, regardless if they're powerful or if they're not. They're going to be amazing. So the one thing that I want from them is an achievement system.
I'm just deathly afraid.
You want it. You really do.
I'm selling my Xbox if that happens.
No, stop it.
I don't have time for anything else, Colin.
Stop it.
Nintendo achievements? Are you kidding me?
Stop it.
Do you remember stamps in the Wii Sports Resort?
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be like their
Should've
achievements. Yeah, I don't understand why. Or like honestly, I think the smartest thing would be stars.
Yeah.
Because it's
100%.
Mario themed.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah, it's Nintendo. It's not Mario. It's Nintendo at this point.
Gold star. Silver star.
So Wii Sports Resort, you got stamps for accomplishing different things in all the different sports.
Right.
One of them you had to score 30 points in the 3-point competition for basketball.
Yeah.
Do you remember the basketball?
Yep.
Okay.
It's coming back to me. I was trying to think. I was like, wait a second.
Wii Sports Resort on the island.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I got it. Yep.
So there's a 3-point competition. So you have 5 basketballs in the bonus ball at 5 different stations around the 3-point line.
Yep.
And one of the stamps was to get 30, which is essentially like a perfect score.
Mm-hmm.
Hours spent trying to do that, to get that stupid stamp. Not for anything else. And it was for something that no one else would see. My kids would probably see it. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't be impressed by their dad scoring perfect on the 3-point competition in Wii Sports Resort.
I can just imagine you sitting down with your kids. You're like, look what your dad did today. Just look.
I would be the Al Bundy of Nintendo video games. Back in my day, I scored 4 touchdowns in one game and relive it for the rest of my life. But hours, Colin, I spent just trying to get that stupid stamp for no other reason than just to get it, because I felt like I had to. That's the grip that Nintendo holds on me. And that is why Metroid Prime Trilogy was so bad. Especially 3. Just the scan. Oh, God. The scanning. So much scanning. But so good. So good. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Yes.
I said that I had forgotten that they were on GameCube. I'm now remembering that they were definitely on GameCube, because many years ago, I lived in a house with 2 of my friends who I was going to college with. It was the bachelor house. We had fun. We had parties. It was good times. We actually Bi-Mart. Are you familiar with that store?
Yes.
They had both worked at Bi-Mart, and the giant bee off of the sign of the store that they worked at had fallen off. Okay. Giant bee. We're talking like 7 feet tall. It's a big sign, right? It's like the sign that's on the building.
Yeah.
Like just the individual letters that light up. Anyway, fell off. The manager told them that they could keep it because they weren't going to put it back up because it had like a crack in it or whatever.
Okay.
So we hung that thing in our garage. And we bought shop lights. And we put shop lights behind it. So every time we had parties, because that's where the pool table and the ping pong table was, and tomfoolery and whatnot, we'd turn the giant bee on. There was no reason for us to have a bee. It was just like, hey, we have a giant bee in our garage. And we turn the lights on, it would light up like that was the party light. Then, like this one party, somebody decided that they were going to write their name on it. And it turned into like the autograph wall. So everybody that came over for parties would sign it. Good times, my friend. Good times. Sometimes phone numbers would be left on it and messages for individuals. That was good. Good times.
Was it good?
Giant bee in a party.
Is that what you... I used to imagine you handing out flyers being like, hey, come to our party, we have a giant bee. And then someone being like, no, I can't come, I'm allergic.
Right. Like, no. The letter.
The letter B.
Sorry, I'm more of an H fan. So anyway, we lived in this house. It was me and 2 other guys. They knew a kid that also worked at Bi-Mart. He had just moved out of his parents' house, or he was moving out of his parents'. He wanted to move out of his parents' house. He was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to move out, and we're like, look, we'll help you get on your feet. And he decided to move in with us. He slept on the couch in our living room. He gave us like $200 rent to sleep on our couch.
Oh.
Jimmy. His name is Jimmy. He knew nothing about the world. But he loved him some Metroid. And he wanted Echoes so bad. And it was his birthday. And it was coming out. So the three of us decided to chip in money, which essentially was just his rent money that he'd given us. And we bought him Echoes for his birthday.
Nice.
And it was like the best birthday present he had ever gotten. He was like so stoked to get that. I will always associate Echoes with Jimmy for that reason.
That game was so hard, though.
It was.
Echoes. It was significantly harder than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
My favorite of the three, Corruption.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say the first one is my favorite, but Corruption is the better game.
Yeah. It just so much
refinement.
Story, and it just felt perfect to play. If you have a physical version of the Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii, it's worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it's like $100 used.
Mm-hmm. At GameStop and such.
Yep.
Thankfully, like you said, Nintendo released it on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Yep.
So you could play all those games on your Wii U.
Yeah, I think it's like $20. It's super cheap.
Yeah, worth every penny.
Yes.
And especially, look, if you're mad that Nintendo's not recognizing Metroid, and maybe you're mad about Federation Force that's coming out tomorrow, and you just like want a good Metroid game, go back and play Trilogy, because that's really all you need right now. Either go back and play Super Metroid or go play Metroid Prime Trilogy. Between those two and those 4 games, you're set. That's all the Metroid you need in your life. Unless, Colin, you want an excellent story, a narrative that had never been told before in the Metroid franchise.
Good night, everyone. I'm out.
Exciting and innovative gameplay, and breathtaking visuals. If you want all of that, may I suggest Other M?
May I suggest another Metroid?
By other Metroid, do you mean Metroid Prime Federation Force that's coming out August 19th?
I'd probably play Other M instead.
Look, we haven't played the game. We don't know.
That's true. That's true.
I will say that when they showed Blast Ball during the Nintendo World Championships, people were pretty stoked about that game.
Were they?
I feel like a lot of people were excited about Blast Ball. They're like, this looks fun.
Okay.
This looks quirky and fun.
All right.
And then people found out that it had the Metroid franchise name associated with it. And that's when things got a little sour. Because people were like, oh, ooh, we don't want this to be a Metroid game, especially if it doesn't have Samus. I feel like this game is probably never going to get a fair review based on the fact that it feels like, from what I've seen and heard about it, that the Metroid franchise is kind of shoehorned into it. Like, there's probably a solid 3DS game there. Like, not the best, not award-winning, but something fun to play. A summer game, you know? But then they put Metroid in it, and people did not like that. And they will never like it. And they will never, ever associate this game with the Metroid franchise. We'll see.
Yeah.
Look, if you pick up this game and you play it, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think of it. I'm intrigued by it. I'm not going to run out tomorrow and buy it. I will promise you that. I'm intrigued by it. I want to know more than just the negativity that is surrounding it. So, we want to hear from you guys. What else is coming out tomorrow, Colin, in case people maybe skipping Federation Force, but still looking for a game to play?
Oh man, this is a really good one. Style Savvy. That's with 2 V's. Fashion Forward.
Style Savvy, Fashion Forward.
Right, and I assume it's fashion, that we get in the future. And they brought it back.
Yeah.
and they put it on your DS.
Absolutely, because that means
Yeah.
it's savvy.
So you remember back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
You had any? Do you have any siblings? I can't remember.
I have a younger sister.
Okay. Your younger sister, did she ever play with paper dolls?
Nope.
All right. Well, my grandmother played with paper dolls.
Okay.
And basically, it's paper dolls, but for your 3DS.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, give them $30, and you can play with paper dolls.
Style savvy, fashion forward. I'm Nintendo.
I don't know what to do.
This is your fault, Nintendo.
I don't know what to do from here.
Is Color Splash out yet?
Nope.
Is Zelda out yet?
No. Which Zelda?
Breath of the Wild.
No.
Still not out, huh?
No. Still.
Is the NES Classic out yet?
No.
Still not, huh?
No.
Okay. All right.
I want to know where the amiibo is. That's what I want to know.
Oh, the ones that are not even showing or talking about?
Yeah, I want to know where the Smash amiibo is.
Corrin and Bayonetta?
Cloud.
And Cloud?
Yep.
Talk to me, Nintendo. Give us something here.
Please.
I bet we see them in packs. 100%.
Hope so.
Calling it right now. We will
seems
see
like
those 3 at PAX.
An easy get. That's the Smash crowd's insane at PAX. So.
Yep. They could have shown them at Gamescom, and they're like, nah, this is a PAX thing.
Yep.
100%. Calling it now, folks. You want to do emails, or do you want to do our bucket list?
Let's do emails.
Okay. We got another email here. This was actually a while ago. Didn't get read for whatever reason. It's from Matthew. Writes in and says, "Hey guys, it's Matthew again with another email. Still no comment on Mega Man, but it's coming." I don't remember what he's talking about. That's our fault. The reason I'm not writing about Mega Man this week is because a little game called Rhythm Heaven Megamix got stealth released on the eShop during E3. I've only played the DS game, but with a new game coming out that is a celebration of all the games, I had to pick this up. Rhythm Heaven Megamix might be my favorite 3DS game. This game is fantastic. It's made by the creators of the WarioWare games and is a collection of rhythm minigames. Their style is so adorable, which brings out personality in each character in the minigames. Not to mention how great the songs are. The songs are so catchy, and there are over 70 songs in the game. Can't stop playing and definitely recommend everybody check out the demo on the eShop if you're hesitant. Thank you, Matthew. Colin, have you checked this out at all?
I haven't played the game. I've heard nothing but great things about this series.
Yeah.
My issue is I literally have no rhythm. I can't play any rhythm games.
Sure.
Like, if you were to ask me to hold a beat for 10 seconds straight, I probably couldn't do it. Like, I would probably like if you were to tap on a container or something for like 10 seconds straight, I would somehow mess it up. So I just can't. I can't do those games because I can't. There's no way I could get past like the tutorial levels, because the tutorial levels are like, oh, you failed, but it's okay, and keep going. And then you get later on, you're like, yeah, you're not gonna win this.
Right.
So it's awesome for people that love that genre, and I hear it's like the greatest hits version of Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about this.
Yeah. So
and again, it's a shame that it was a stealth release. Like, there was no marketing put into it at all.
It's so weird.
Don't get it. So if you ever have any suggestions for us, please let us know. We are open to all kinds of stuff, because I like finding new and weird games that I would never try otherwise. So
right,
let us know. That takes us to our bucket list, Colin. The bucket list game that we decided to induct last time, long ago, many moons ago.
Yes.
This bucket list is essentially a list of games that we feel are must-plays for any gamers. Like, you need to play this game at some point in your life because it represents a game style, a generation, a story that's incredible. Whatever the reason is, all these games we pick, there are specific reasons for having to play them. The newest game that we put into this list was, of course, BioShock.
Yes.
BioShock will be part of the BioShock collection, which is releasing September 13th on PS4 and Xbox One. I have seen side-by-side comparisons of the game running with like the old game and like what it looks remastered. So beautiful. Oh my goodness, Colin, I cannot wait.
Yeah, this BioShock is one of the greatest games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, without a doubt.
Yep.
Gameplay is amazing. Narrative's amazing. Atmosphere is amazing. Characters are amazing. Like, it's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it is so good. It is a darn near perfect game,
Yeah.
I would say.
It is hard to find flaws in BioShock.
And it's a game that like plays with your emotions like all over the place.
Yeah.
The first moment you step into Rapture, you have a very uneasiness to you. And as you go through the dark hallways, the splicers just like pop out of nowhere and you're like scared. And then you have this weird, after you defeat a Big Daddy, there's a little sister there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which the Big Daddies, first of all, sorry, I should go back to that. Big Daddies. First time you see one of those things, you're like, holy crap, I'm not messing with this thing.
Right.
But then you get a little cagey. You're like,
and you don't have to either, because it's not attacking you. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah, it's like just chilling. But then sometimes you get a little cagey and you're like, you know what?
I got this.
And if you happen to take him down without him drilling a hole in your stomach.
You usually don't got this. Let's just put it that way.
Right. Which, when you do die, the regeneration center, so awesome. No game overs in this game.
Yeah.
No game overs.
No.
But when you do kill the Big Daddy, you hold the little sister, and you can choose to harvest her or let her go. So there's like this really weird, like, man, I really want to upgrade that stuff, but also what I'm doing is kind of messed up. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just...
if you harvest the atom from her, you're essentially killing her.
Yeah.
But you gain more atom, which lets you level up quicker. If you let her go, that's essentially like being the nice guy. You get a little bit of atom for letting her go. But like you feel... It's definitely the harder path to choose, but you feel better doing it. You're like, I really don't want to kill this little girl, but I kind of need to, but I kind of don't want to.
And that's why the game is so well done in just its atmosphere, because there's this psychotic little girl with this giant needle that's just walking around, and you don't want to kill her.
No.
Like, you feel bad and compelled to, like, want to put her down.
The game, it doesn't give you any reason to kill her.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And then, like, if people haven't played it, I don't want to go into the twist, but the twist at the end, like, just superb storytelling. Just it's nothing I've seen in a game before. Like, that was like the biggest surprise, I think, of the Xbox 360 generation, like, by far.
Mm-hmm. The two flaws I could point out in this game, now that I think about it.
Okay.
One, the final boss battle is a little cheesy.
I liked it, though.
It was good, but it could have been better.
Okay.
Secondly, the lockpicking mechanic with, like, the pipes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was way overly complicated and a little bit too difficult.
I don't even remember that at all. Isn't there, like, a lockpick that you can just, like, snap it open without having to do the minigame? Or maybe I'm thinking of Skyrim.
Yeah, that's not BioShock.
Okay.
But, like, the BioShock, you had to, like, move the pipes around to let the water flow all the way through.
I vaguely remember
and, like,
that.
Each puzzle took, like, so long. It was, like, 2 minutes sometimes.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
They tightened it up going forward.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that. But,
yeah, it was kind of... It slowed down, like, the game. But still, it had its place. But, I mean, other than that, like, BioShock, like, just... It was, like... It's a story and a setting that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know, it's just completely brand new, every bit of it. And that was so incredible. One of the most memorable parts to me is the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The plane crashes, and you're in the ocean, and there's just, like, fiery pieces of plane everywhere, and there's, like, a lighthouse and whatever, and you're just, like, bobbing up and down the ocean. And raise your hand if you just sat there waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, I probably did that.
And then, like, after a few seconds, you're like, nothing's going, and, like, you'll accidentally, like, push the joystick, and your character starts to move. You're like, oh, I'm controlling this right now. Because I thought I was just looking at a cutscene essentially.
Right.
And it's like, no, this is you playing. And then like you get down to Rapture for the first time, you're like, I don't know where I am. This feels creepy. Like I could look and see like the city that's underwater, and there's all these old timey signs, and there's these guys in these giant, suits walking around, and
it's such an interesting environment too. Like I was saying how great it is, but like I forgot to elaborate like what makes it unique is you're underwater in this 1940s almost steampunk looking like city, and you see it and you're like, what happened here?
Yeah.
Like there's history behind this. What happened? Yeah. This you could clearly tell this was once beautiful.
Yeah, that's the biggest. It's the equivalent of the mansion in the first Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Like, some things have gone down here, but you don't know what, and you don't know why, and you don't know why you're there.
Right.
But there are some bad things that have happened. And you don't even know if you're ever going to get answers to it,
Mm-hmm.
We got an email from somebody that decided to play it along with us.
Sweet.
This email is from Alex, Atari Alex on Twitter. It says, Dear Josh and Colin. Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time emailer. Thank you for getting me to play this game. It's one of my roommate's all-time favorites, and he has been bugging me to play it for years. But if it wasn't for your video game bucket list, he probably would have still been bugging me for many years to come. This game is awesome. It's pretty weird for me to say that because it's really outside of my comfort zone. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters or creepy horror games, yet this game still hit home with me. I even went out of my way to play this game at night with all the lights off when no one else was home to enhance the experience.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I love the combination of having regular weapons with awesome superpowers, which make brutally murdering your enemies downright fun. The gameplay is slick and the controls are responsive, and there's plenty of space to explore the stuff to discover, which is probably why I've put 11 hours into the game and I'm only halfway done. I'm really looking forward to finishing up the game, learning more about Rapture, and playing the sequels at some point in the future. Thanks. Alex, oh man, you have some amazing things to come.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also,
I'm so glad to get to try it for the first time, too. That's so great.
Playing it in the dark, alone, like... I think I've told the story before, but the first time I ever played BioShock, I was pretty heavily medicated from getting my wisdom teeth taken out earlier in the day.
Right, yeah.
Made for that game being a very unusual experience. Probably a lot creepier and psychopathic than it probably is, but man, I had fun playing it. I didn't know what was going on, but I loved every second of it. So BioShock, play it. Next week we will have a new game to bring into the bucket list, a recommendation that you all should play. I'm excited to announce what that game will be. Again, that'll be next week. Before we leave though, I decided to try something new and wanted a little bit more interaction with the fan base out there, with the listening audience, Colin. And, done it on a few other podcasts where we put out, like, some sort of poll or question on Twitter and social media to try to get people talking about a subject that we're going to be discussing on the show. This week, showed our hand a little bit and revealed that we'd be talking about Metroid. So the hashtag is share your joys, because this podcast is about the joys of gaming, of course. But we want to hear what makes you happy and what makes you joyful when it comes to games. So the question this week was, which Metroid game is your favorite and why? Alex, who again wrote in with the BioShock email, at Atari Alex, said, of the two I've played, I'd have to say Zero Mission. It's a remake that does more than improve the graphics, it improves gameplay. Big Mike 8109 on Twitter says Metroid Prime because of the morph ball. Ben, which is on Twitter at Shaw_near, friend of mine, he wrote in and said Guacamelee. Ben.
Yeah. He has a winky face too.
Ben, that's not Metroid game. It's Metroidvania. Metroid probably inspired Guacamelee. Guacamelee is a damn fine game, if I must say so myself. But it's not a Metroid game, Ben.
You done goofed, Ben.
Brian at Billy DJ Dog on Twitter wrote in and said the NES one because I was a kid, everything was better. True that. Cool Fizz 10 on Twitter said Prime because it's the only one I've played. Fair enough. Also, not a bad one to be your only one to play. Might I recommend Super Metroid though? And then finally, Richard _S123 wrote in and said Super Metroid because it's a classic and defined a style of level of design and gameplay that has been used many times over.
Yep.
So thank you to everyone that responded to that. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to doing those every week, Colin. It's going to be good to get a little bit more interaction out of people and reach out and see what you guys are having fun with and enjoying. So
yeah, I love that. That's great.
Next week will be our Xbox week. Colin, you're not going to be here.
No.
I'm gonna have to call up someone from the bench to fill in, I think.
I'm sure someone could fill my shoes.
Maybe. You have pretty big shoes.
Well, that's true.
Pretty big shoes.
They're elevator boots. I'm not that tall.
Explains it. Hey, Colin, if people wanted to get a hold of you on social media, where could they do so?
You can tweet at me on the Twitter at PDX_geek.
Excellent. You can find me personally on Twitter at The Noise. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Joys of Games. If you'd like to email us, like so many of you have, please do so at joysofgames@gmail.com. And then be sure to keep an eye out on toysforgames.com, the website. I have some plans to renovate it slightly to get a little bit more separation for the different shows and content that we're providing for the Toys for Games network, Joys of Games included. I want to give a little bit more spotlight to the Joys brand and give us a little bit more room to do things like possibly reviews and that kind of stuff. So just be on the lookout for that. And then if you'd like to support us and maybe sponsor a segment or a show, a weekly show, you could do so on Patreon, patreon.com/toys4games. Colin, it's good to be back, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to Metroid. Happy 30th. Dirty 30, as they say.
Oh, yes. Is that why we're getting Federation Force?
You almost got me into that one. Have a good time in Idaho, my friend.
I will. Thank you.
When you come back.
I'll be back not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. I'll try. If I have a signal up there, I'll post some pictures on the Twitter.
Excellent. Then I will see you right when you get back because we'll be making our way north to Seattle for PAX West.
Whoop whoop.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
Hotel
fun.
booked. We're ready to go.
Expect tons of coverage from Joys of Games from PAX West.
Yes.
Colin, putting you personally responsible for everything responsible for Joys of Games.
Well, we're gonna do all podcasts all day long then.
Okay.
Or at least every night.
Done.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. With that being said, go out there, play some games, enjoy them, have fun, find your moment of zen. May I suggest No Man's Sky? Good night.
Good night.